Hi, I'm Brennan Doherty with Gibbons head football coach Steven Wright, talking with Coach 2 weeks after his team's season-ending 25-20 loss against a very good Wilson Hunt team in the second round of the state playoffs. With that being said, Coach, let's look at the whole body of work. 11-1 record, undefeated on the road, a conference championship for the 4th straight year, and the first ever undefeated regular season in school history. So when you look at that, just how do you assess how this season's gone?
Well, I think from a win-loss perspective, it's certainly, a season that we're pleased with. I think, that we had some pretty lofty objectives at the beginning of the year, and our kids hit every one of them with the exception of the state championship. I could not be more proud of this group, especially this group of seniors who have had unprecedented success in this football program and have contributed so much, not only on the field but off the field. And I think as we've had a chance to reflect on the season as a whole, we certainly are pleased with the effort that our kids gave, and certainly pleased with the accomplishments that they were able to pull together here over the course of that season.
All those wins and losses, records to the side, what about how the team's grown over the season, players and coaches together, that cohesiveness, teamwork as a team? Has the season been success in that regard as well, really bonding together and growing as one team as the season went on?
Absolutely. It's always difficult when you lose a group of seniors, because there are holes that you go into a season thinking these are holes that we may not be able to fill. And to see the growth of our young men, not only in their leadership, but also in the way that they interacted with each other, the way the team came together, is something that's gonna last far beyond the win-loss record. I try and remind our players and our coaches that 10 years from now, nobody but these football players remember what the record is. What's going to last isn't so much the record, but the experience and how they grew as young men. Not just physically or in their ability to play a game, but spiritually, emotionally, and mentally as well.
One of those seniors had to replace was your quarterback, John Burton, and I think junior quarterback Sean Stankiewicz went way above his expectations this year in his play. Coach, how devastating was it for you as his head coach to see him go down with the season-ending ACL injury in that first playoff game against Grays Creek?
Yeah, it's difficult, and it's something that I can certainly empathize with, because it's an injury I had to endure as a senior when I was at the University of Central Florida. So it is a difficult thing to see, and especially when you've been through it yourself and understand what lies ahead. But Sean has met the challenge head on. He's already gone through surgery and is recovering well. We're excited that we're going to get him back, and I think this will be an experience that he'll be able to look back on and realize that it was something that God orchestrated for his best. And so even though in the short term it was difficult for us to swallow, it's going to be something that serves him well far into the future. But having said that, I certainly want to say that Dante DiMaggio stepped in there and was phenomenal for us, threw for 324 yards, and just kept us in that football game and did a phenomenal job filling in for Sean.
Now, after last season, obviously you had high expectations for your team this year, but was there one moment or one game this season where you thought to yourself, wow, we do really have a really good football team this season?
Well, I think after our first 2 games, especially after that Cary game, we found a way to win at Clayton, and then went over there and fought our way back at Cary. And I think at that moment, after that game, I realized we had a chance to do something special with this group, and they certainly proved me right in that sense.
Now, you had a lot of senior leadership this year. I know you're going to miss a lot of those guys. Scott Washley, Nick Carroll on defense, Trevor Sruba, Ben Grayson, Nick Holloway on offense. The list really does go on and on. In your opinion, who are some of the most valuable leaders on your team this past season, how much will those guys be missed?
Well, I think you named, obviously, some of those guys that are right at the forefront, but there's a whole host of them. When you think about our defense, even Philip Tupin and a Robbie Money, a Nick Haskin, and on the other side of the ball, Thomas Bernhardt, Elliot Rendy. These guys that have given a lot to this program, and these guys are going to leave some holes that we're going to have to fill. Fortunately, we've got a good group coming in behind them, and we're hoping that they're able to step up just like this year's class did, and take that mantle of leadership and continue to move it forward.
Now let's talk a little bit about the one loss, Wilson Hunt. I guess if you're going to lose a game one game in the season, it might as well be to a team to that pedigree as Wilson Hunt. Just what type of team were you facing, and what were they doing successfully against your team 2 weeks ago?
Well, I tell you, they came in and did exactly what we expected them to do. They looked to establish the run early. I think hoping to grind some clock. Our defense stepped up right away and forced a punt on their first possession. And so we got what we expected from them, both offensively and defensively. They're a base 4-4 team. They're going to run with a one high safety. So they gave us what we thought they would give us. Unfortunately, we didn't take care of the ball the way we normally do. And I think at the end of the day, the turnovers ended up being the story in the outcome of that football game. But I told the guys at the end of the game I couldn't be more proud of the way they fought. We were down at halftime. We came back, took the lead in the third quarter, and then fought our way there at the end, ending up with an onside kick with a chance with a go-ahead score. We just didn't quite convert to get that done. But I couldn't be more proud of the way the guys fought, and certainly impressed. You got to give credit to Hunt. They came in here and played some excellent football.
It's only the first loss of the season. Unfortunately, it comes in the playoffs, so it's your last. Is that aspect kind of tough to deal with for both staff and players to realize, wow, we made this far with no losses, and then the one loss you get, it's a season ender? Is that tough?
It is, and it's the unfortunate nature of the playoff system. At the end of the day, there's going to be one team in our classification that's going to be pleased with the way the season ended. That's going to be a state champion.
Yeah.
And until we can get ourselves to that point, there's always going to be a little bit of disappointment, that goes along with it.
Now, just moving on to next season, it's way in advance from right now, but just what are some of the things that you're already looking forward to your team next season?
Well, I think the players that we've got coming back, Sean Stankiewicz, Dante DiMaggio, DJ Smith, some of these guys that have gotten some great experience as underclassmen on the offensive side of the ball. And on the defensive side of the ball, we're going to be really solid. We've got 4 to 5 solid defensive linemen coming back, along with there are now 2 veteran linebackers. So we've got some good pieces coming back. It's going to be fun to see how we're able to pull those together and see if we can't make another run.
It is important to note that Stankiewicz also had a successful surgery on his ACL last week. That's all we got time for this week. Thanks, Coach, for your time, and until next time, Brennan Doherty, this is Gibbons Football Report.
Thanks, Brennan.